I kind of was like, I was winning loads of competitions and stuff like that, or, you know, in locally or whatever. I was doing really well, put it that way. And then I also sung a lot and got a lot of praise from that, you know.
Yeah.
In musicals, or if it was karaoke, or, you know, I was in a couple of local random little bands and stuff like that. And you know, once I kind of found my feet and found my place in my kind of, you know, in my peers and in my society or whatever of, you know, teenage kind of girls and boys in Sligo, and I became popular and I had friends and people saying, oh, I'm going to meet you tomorrow, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I was, you know, sitting in the chippers at lunchtime amongst like 15 or 20 people. I found my own confidence, and then, you know, I think it allowed me to deal with things more. But I still wasn't like kind of, you know, don't mess with me, or, you know what I mean? I still I wouldn't have reacted well to somebody coming up to say they were going to kick the head off me or anything like that, you know. So I kind of found confidence, but sure, to this day, if someone said that to me on the street, I kind of turn into jelly, you know what I mean? So,
really?
Yeah, it's just something, I don't know. I honestly, like, you know, as I say, some things live with you, and if someone, I mean, it really hasn't happened, but I just know if somebody approached me on the street right now and said, you know, come on, I'll give you, you know, I'll fight you, I would honestly turn to jelly. It's just something that I just can't deal with, that kind of confrontation. I don't know whether it's because it's happened to me a bit in the past, or whether it's just the way I am, but, you know, and, you know, why should I have to deal with it, and why should somebody in school be able to, you know, fight somebody? I mean, it's not really a tool that you necessarily should need in life. You know, you're going back to kind of, you know, the Ice Age if you think you have to be able to fight to survive or whatever, you know. That's
for sure. Karen's just emailed Mark to say that she says, I was badly bullied during my school years to the extent that I had to move school despite telling parents and teachers. I felt very alone in the situation, and the first time I realised I wasn't alone in being bullied was when Mark spoke out about bullying in, of all things, Top of the Pops magazine about 10 years ago.
Wow.
And as a huge Westlife fan, I was so encouraged by hearing about his experience. I felt that if someone as great as Mark could be bullied and end up as successful, then I could get through it too. And I think the campaign is great, especially as it highlights the long-term effects of bullying. I mean, little did you know, 10 years ago, sitting down to do an interview with probably some girl in London for Top of the Pops magazine, that 10 years later, you know, a woman writes in to say that interview helped her come to terms with...
No, not at all. I mean, I forgot. I was thinking yesterday, because, you know, I knew the campaign was about to hit today, and I was thinking how weird it is for me to even talk about it so long. Like, I mean, you know, you think I've forgotten about it. It's in the past, you know, genuinely over it. But you start thinking about it, and, like, I remember those moments of being afraid to kind of go into the hallways to go to the next class in school, and, you know, it's still in there, you know what I mean? And you know, stories like that are amazing to hear, you know. Like, obviously, it's kind of something in Westlife that we hear every now and again, that, whether it's your music helped me when my dad died, or, you know, things like what that lady's just said about the Smash Hits interview or whatever it was.
Top of the Pops. Karen says, my niece is only 10 and cannot set foot outside her door for being bullied by all the kids on her road, and it's a serious, intimidating behaviour.
It's
poor kid.
For some reason, I don't know why people aren't people kind of ignore it. Like, it's happening to thousands and thousands of kids all over the country, and I don't know, people sort of just, it's kind of like people don't speak about it. But
Mark, you know the way you just said there, that even if someone came up to you today, despite all your success and wonderful things that happened to you in your life, and said to you, listen, you know, confronted you physically or whatever, even verbally, you said you'd go to jelly. That's what happens with bullying, because when you go into the principal's office or the teacher's office, or sometimes the parents of the person who's doing the bullying is as bad as the kid, and that's the apples and trees, as somebody has sent a text in about that it's one of those things. Some people just don't like confrontation and would rather just put their head in the sand.
Yeah, and I don't think you should have to deal with it, but the fact is, kids will have to deal with it, you know, in school, whether it's a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old, or whether it's a 17-year-old. Like, honestly, like, I've you know, was in school with many guys or whatever, and there was guys that were 6 foot when they were 14 years old, and I've seen them getting bullied by, you know, 4 foot young, you know what I mean? It's like, it's, you know, I don't know, things aren't always as they seem, and you think people will be able to stand up for themselves, and, you know, they're not always able to. I don't know, it's the $1 million question as to how we can fix the problem in general, you know, and obviously we're just working towards it day by day and trying to figure things out. And, you know, this campaign, you know, the whole thing behind this campaign was that, you know, a lot of people don't know somebody firsthand that has been bullied or that's going through it. So all the people involved in the campaign, all the kind of celebrities, as well as myself. You know, we'd have obviously loads of fans around the country and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, hopefully the fans can have a bit of the feeling of that firsthand, seeing us kind of, seeing what we would look like beaten up. And a lot of fans said to me on Twitter, oh, when I seen the photo, I couldn't believe it. It was gobsmacked, you know, it really hit me, and it's mad, and I'd hate to see it like that.
Yes.
And, you know, for me, that's the campaign working. It's about giving our fans and everybody out there the feeling of seeing us, you know, in a situation where we might have got a punch or something like that, and to realise that they don't want that to happen, that it's wrong, to realise that it's wrong, and to kind of talk about it. And hopefully people in schools and classrooms and offices are talking about it, and, you know, it's that kind of thing where the kid that's getting bullied hears their class talking about it and hears everyone saying it's unacceptable. That'll give them a bit more confidence, you know, to say something.
A Westlife fan texts to say, my son is bullied by exclusion. He's no problem during school time, but during holidays he's left out of things when people, their friends, so-called friends, go to the beach or the shops and everything else. And then when he rings them, they say they had no credit to let him know. And he's 16 and he sits there every day. But thank you so much to Mark for this campaign. Excuse me. It gives me great hope for my son's future. It won't always be like this. And another said, I was bullied in school and I'm going to my reunion soon. And I'm only going to confront that girl that bullied me, obviously. Not in a bad way, she says, but just to show her that they, the bullies, don't win. Don't let them win. They are ultimately the losers.
Yeah.
It's kind of...
Well, you know, I mean, like, and, you know, it's crazy. Like, I was actually talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
Like, part of me, you know, has sort of forgiven the people that, you know, the main kind of culprits, let's say. Like, you know, I genuinely have, and I understand that there were kids, but, you know, it doesn't make it any easier for me. It didn't make the experience any easier for me. I don't know. It's straight. Like, I mean, what I'm not going to do is kind of be like, yeah, go and. I don't know. I just think that if kids are bullying, it's more somehow finding a way of teaching the kids that it's wrong. You know, just like anything, kids will be kids. You know. And
it seems also to be like Jim's been on, our old friend Jim's been saying that he suggests parents should enrol in a reputable martial arts club, which helps confidence. And I know for a fact that you're involved with music, and I'm a firm believer as well that martial arts will suit some kids, music will suit others, sport will suit others. But to join groups, things that will bring out whatever it is, that little kernel, that little seed of talent that you have to try and develop it, and not to be going home with depressed and upset and angry.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's true, you know, and I did eventually find, as I said, the school musicals and everything, and the Sligo, the local musicals and everything, which I was so grateful for. But I don't know, it's kind of easier said than done, I suppose. You know,
sure.
You know, you get in the bus and, you know, or you walk home, or you get your lift home, and
there they are.
All you want to do is get into your bedroom and close the door, and, you know, like, it's just like you can't expect kids to have the sense to, you know, understand, well, if I go and join a club or something, you know what I mean? They just kind of, they deal with it like as is or whatever, as it kind of hits them. And
but now, Mark, you're old man River now. You're the elder statesman of the pop world now, if I may say so. And there are children on holidays and youngsters listening today, and not so youngsters who are going through pretty bad, poor time, not really excited about September. What do you say to them?
Well, I mean, you know, there's so much to be said, but I think, first of all, you know, I think most people have the internet, and I think that the ISPCC.ie website has a lot of information on.
Right.
You know, I think that if you can go and sort of check that out, everything that makes you feel like you're not the only one, because you really aren't the only one. There's literally thousands of kids. You know, I was right there with you, sort of, you know, years back. And there's hundreds and thousands of kids out there that are going through the same experience. And for some reason, I know that you all sort of feel like you can't sort of speak, but I guarantee you someone else right beside you in class, or somebody else down the road from where you live, is going through the same experience. And I think something that brings you all together is this charity, and I think that this charity is designed, the ISPCC have fantastic facilities. If you can't speak to your parents, but actually I think that the first thing you should try and build up the courage to do is to just go, like, even just go right now and speak to your mum and just let it all out, and I guarantee you it will all, you know, get so much better from that moment on. You know, your families, your friends, they all love you to bits, and you really aren't alone as much as you feel like you are. So I don't know.
Talk. I think it's just get talking. Get talking,
yeah,
admit
honestly,
it, spill the beans.
Just do it right now, even if you don't want to. Just go and do it. You know, honestly, because it's keeping it inside that's the most damaging thing. You know, it's like something cooking up in an oven, and eventually, you know, it can kind of explode or get to you too much. So it's all about talking and getting it out. It's better out than in.
I think it's very admirable what you're doing to tell your story and admit it the way you're doing it, and the photo campaign with yourself, Louis, and Saoirse Ronan and Jedward and the likes. Laura Whitmore is in there too. Very, very impressive, very important, and I salute you this morning, and thanks for your time, Mark.
Well, we wanted to do something shocking, so hopefully, because if it shocks everyone, they'll all talk about it, and if they all talk about it, then that's the message got out there. So
well, look, what are we doing this morning? And that's the way forward.
Right, well, listen, thanks for the chat, Ryan.
Thank you so much, Mark. Look after yourself, enjoy the rest of your summer, and good luck with the boys and everything else. All the best. Thanks a million. Mark Feehily joining us on the programme this morning, and you can text your comments 51552.
2FM.